Hello, I'm Jason. You might know me as the Hag's husband. I come to you all today with a personal story. It's about my unjustified termination from Tulsa Public Schools. I was recently let go, as of yesterday, officially let go, from my position as a paraprofessional. I had been with the district for over 13 years. And I believe this is unjustified. It is retaliation, actually, for me doing my legal responsibility as a mandated reporter. So, I have, back last year, I was working at my daughter's high school. And she had been sexually assaulted by one of the students there. And I went and reported that. They transferred me out as a conflict of interest, and they never really did anything to the student, even though we wanted to press charges. And we filed the police report, and later on, I made a call to the child abuse hotline because that same student was still being left unattended and had access to the public when he should be completely supervised. So I'm going to let you all listen to the call I made back earlier this year and get your all's opinion and tell you what the school did next.
So, regarding this situation, you said there's been an ongoing issue for years at the school, Memorial High School.
Yes. I wasn't aware of it until he attempted the same thing with my niece while I was working there.
Okay. So from the beginning, when did you find out?
I found out, I think January 26th is when I filed the report.
Of 2025?
Yes.
And then you filed the Tulsa police report the same day?
Actually, the report was on the 26th. I think I found out the day before.
Okay. And what did you find out?
Okay, starting last year, or maybe even before that, with my daughter and the other girl, I don't know the name, he would come up and introduce himself. Hi, my name is. Put out his hand, and when the girls would go to shake his hand, he would grab their breast.
Okay. When is the last time he did this?
He attempted with my niece back on around the 25th, I think, of January.
So he didn't touch her, he just
No,
attempted to?
she had already heard about that from the other two, and she guarded herself.
Okay. Uh, she heard about his reputation of doing this.
Yes. So when I reported it, the school is like, well, because it was only an attempt, we can't say what his intent was because he didn't put hands on her. And then when it came to my daughter, They said, "Oh, that was last year, so there's nothing we can do about it unless you want to press charges." And they didn't expect me to say I would. And I recorded that entire conversation so it can be recalled verbatim.
Okay, and it started, you said last year. Do you know when?
Uh, I could not get a direct answer from uh, my daughter because it was last school year, so she couldn't give me even a type of month, maybe in the fall of the previous school year.
So the fall of 2023.
Yes. Huh.
And you couldn't find the other girl's name, right?
No, but I'm sure my daughter knows it since she works with her. And had after that, I started talking to another paraprofessional. His name is Jacob. I don't know the last name. And apparently, there had been a big incident about some type of unknown behavior that almost cost the school a lawsuit. And that's why he had to have a personal para with him. So this is like very much, I feel, an active cover up. They even transferred me out of the school because I was in the a pair in his classroom.
And you were transferred out when?
That the day of, they said I wouldn't be coming back. I'd be transferred, and I'd contact talent management. They put me back at my previous school.
You were transferred out the same day that you made the police report, the 26th?
At first, I wanted to be transferred, but then I told them I didn't because I wanted to be at the school with my daughter to make her feel more comfortable.
So when were you transferred out, sir?
Probably the next day. I didn't come back. Actually, I
The
left that
27th?
day and never came back. So yeah.
Okay. And who who is responsible for the children when he was doing this? Where was he doing this? Was this in the hallway, in a classroom, or
In a hallway, unattended, all the times.
is there a surveillance camera?
Um, yes. I only have the date and time for the attempt on my niece. And actually, I think I got the date wrong because in my notes it said uh, he attempted it on the January 27th. And I think I reported it the 28th.
So you found out the day before the 27th, or
Uh, no, I found out, uh, I think on the 27th. And,
okay, and then you reported it the next day on the 28th?
or the 29th. I think it was over the weekend I found out.
So you found out the 27th, 28th, or the 29th?
Uh, I think I found out the 28th, if not the 27th.
And then reported it on the 29th,
Yes.
or the 28th or the 29th?
I reported it on the 29th.
Okay. Okay, was there any other information you wanted to include, or anyone else with pertinent information?
If the name of the other para could be found out, his name is Jacob, but I don't have his last name, the one that works at Memorial. Because he might know more about the previous years and the supposed lawsuit they tried to avoid concerning him.
And you don't have his phone number?
I do not. But I'll double check real quick. No, I don't have it.
Okay. Okay. Do you have something to write with? I'll give you this referral number
Let me head back into the
that we've just
classroom.
made on Memorial High School. Just tell me when you're ready.
Uh-huh. I'm charging you. I'm ready.
This referral number is 248-3348.
All right.
Okay, and I'll forward this information to leadership, and they will review this information and forward it to local law enforcement as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
So there you go. That's what happened last year, last year and earlier this year. Now, let's fast forward to October of last year. There was an incident at my son's school where he was skipping class. He was actually in detention and he left the campus. I clock out of my current job at a different school and go back to his school. I find him at a nearby library because I knew he'd be near a computer. And I brought him back to the school to face the consequences. And when I was there, he didn't want to come home with me, and things escalated. When I tried to get him out the door, he reared back and clocked me in the jaw, and there was shoving around, but the dean who was there had called the resource officer. The same dean and resource officer that I had filed the complaint about. So this is why I think it's retaliation. They had pretty much blown the entire thing out of proportion. There was video of it, although parts of it were hard to see. They won't release that to me because it has a student, my own son, in it. So it's been 6 months since then, and yesterday they brought me in to give me my termination letter. This entire time, I had been battling with this entire time they've been taken to do their investigation, which they didn't find anything else. And I've even had a caseworker come and say this thing was blown out of proportion. The resource officer was being very rude and disrespectful. He actually even told me to sit my ass down. I'm not in charge of the situation. And that's when I had left the school. So the state did take custody of my son because we didn't want him going to a facility just for him to cool down, because he had done this repeatedly. He would say that he wanted to hurt himself just so he could go to like a comm center where he could watch TV all day and do whatever he want with no parent supervision. And he'd even learn worse behaviors while he was in there. So I didn't want to have that. They didn't want to release my son to my wife, who came up there, and they sent us to court. Well, no charges were ever filed. They didn't find anything wrong with what I did of trying to get my son to come home with me. So that got dismissed. I'm still waiting around months and months on paid leave at the taxpayer's expense, not providing services. And I don't know what else to say. Well, let me just go over their termination letter with you all. When it comes down to what they said, they listed these things. On Article 20 or line 23 of the employee handbook, it said, creating a disturbance on or in school district property, including district vehicles, or at an off-campus school district event if the employee is on duty. If employee is on duty, well, I was clocked out. I was there as a parent. This violation includes limitations, fighting, or bullying behavior. I was not fighting. I was trying to get my son home. A son that I've had long complications with as raising a teenage boy. So, next line, part 29. Threatening, intimidating, coercing, exploiting, injuring, or interfering with other employees or students. Once again, my son. I was there as a father. Number 31. The unnecessary or otherwise unresponsible use of force or strength against a student. It is understood that there may be situations in which force or strength may be necessary and reasonable in the context of defending oneself or individuals from bodily harm or death. I'm a paraprofessional. I worked with special needs kids for at least 11 of the 13 years I've been with the district. And they train us on how to de-escalate and guide. Now, if I was a parent in that situation and realized, hey, I was a paraprofessional in the situation and realized I was a trigger, I would remove myself. But as a parent, you don't have that. And as the parent, I was trying to get him out of the room. That was not unreasonable force. All right, part 32. Creating or contributing to unsafe or unsanitary conditions, including violation of policy or rules enacted to ensure orderly and proper job performances or the safety of self or others. I'm not on the job. I'm a parent. Parent at his wit's ends. Number 35, violation of any written administration or board policy, practice, procedure, directive, regulation, or violation of any state law. As I said, they never even pressed charges. The date came and left for caseworkers or police to press charges, and it was dismissed. I technically still have custody of my son, even though at this point we've chosen for him to live with someone else at the moment. But that is more for another issue with the safety of the rest of my kids in my house. All right, and the last one, line 36. When the wrongful or improper conduct of support employees is not specified, covered by one of the foregoing provisions, but is determined in the best interest of students or staff of the school district, then an employee must be suspended, demoted, dismissed, or have his or her contract not renewed. Pretty much a vague catch-all. We do this in the best interests of the kids, which I am all for protecting the kids. Then why didn't they do that in the first place concerning the assault against my daughter and the student that has been left unattended? So that's my story. It's been a long process. I'm going to contest my termination in front of a review committee, which will be public, they have told me. So if you want to show your support, I'm setting up a GoFundMe to help me in this time whilst I am not being paid now. And I'm calling for an investigation and removal of that administration, the principal, the dean, the resource officer, all of which I named in that complete call to Child Protective Services, the Child Abuse Hotline. So, write the school board or whatever you think you can do. Thank you for your support.